You know that feeling? You look in the mirror and just for a split second, there's this weird disconnect, a passing thought where you're like, wait, is this really my life? Humanity has this absolute unquenchable obsession with the idea of waking up as someone else entirely. I mean, we see it everywhere, right? In the pages of fantasy novels, up on the big screen, and even in the unmapped depths of our own subconscious when we go to sleep. That desire to just shed our skin and step into a totally alternate reality is everywhere. So, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to trace this really fascinating thread that connects our favorite pop culture tropes to some profound, real-life psychological phenomena.
Now, I want you to take a second to really let this next question sink in. What if everything around you right now, your memories, your relationships, your daily struggles, what if it's all just a highly detailed projection? What if your current life is just a dream you haven't woken up from yet? Okay, let's dive into this.
Section 1. The Body Swap Phenomenon.
Our cultural obsession with swapping lives? It actually goes back way further than you might think, like all the way to the 17th century. The philosopher John Locke actually brought up the concept of transferring personal identity between bodies in his Essay Concerning Human Understanding. So yeah, long before Hollywood got their hands on it, we had philosophers pondering what it's literally like to walk in someone else's shoes. By 1882, fiction writers took that concept and just ran with it. Take the novel Vice Versa, where a magical wish swaps a father and son. Fast forward a bit to 1972, and Mary Rogers gave us Freaky Friday, which is, that iconic mother-daughter switch that spawned countless movie adaptations. And the crazy thing is, this concept is still evolving. Just look at the 2016 global anime phenomenon, Your Name, which took the trope and elevated it into this mystical, time-spanning romance. We just absolutely love watching two people trade places.
Section 2. Transmigration and Isekai Tropes.
Now, if you aren't super familiar with these terms, let's define them real quick. Isekai, which is a massive genre in Japanese media, or transmigration, refers to a story where a character is transported, reincarnated, or just trapped in a parallel universe or a brand new world. And if you go browsing through discussions in Reddit's fan fiction communities, you'll see a huge emphasis on one specific flavor of this trope, the appeal of the main character having zero prior knowledge of their new world. It's the ultimate blank slate. No past mistakes dragging you down, no embarrassing memories keeping you up at night, just a totally fresh start. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between these two storytelling devices. Body swapping, like we see in Freaky Friday, is usually grounded in comedic familiarity, right? You're trading places with an existing person in your own universe, usually someone you know, mostly to learn a lesson about empathy. But transmigration and isekai, that is total escapism. You leave the whole shebang behind. You don't just get a new body, you're waking up in a brand new world with new rules of physics, maybe magic, and an entirely unwritten future.
Section 3. Diving into the human psyche. There's an Arabic literary article titled 10 Novels That Dive into the Depths of the Human Psyche and Tell Highly Thrilling Stories, and it hits on a really profound truth. So, the crucial point is this. We don't just read these alternate reality stories for simple fun. Our fiction is actually a mirror. These tropes are reflecting deep, often completely unaddressed psychological desires to understand our own minds, escape our traumas, or just rethink the choices we've made.
Section 4. Dreaming an Entirely New Life.
And this brilliantly illustrates the different ways human beings are reporting spontaneous shifts into parallel lives. People are experiencing this through vivid REM sleep dreams where they literally live out years of an alternate life in a single night. Then, others report near-death experiences, or NDEs, usually triggered by medical emergencies. In these cases, a flood of DMT in the brain creates this intense sensation that they're finally waking up to their true cosmic home. And finally, in clinical settings, psychedelic therapies like ketamine are transporting patients in alternate timelines to process and heal trauma. Let's look at that first category, vivid dreams.
Listen closely to this quote from Reddit user NoPattern6848. I dreamt I was a middle-aged male with a gorgeous wife and small child. We lived in a village located somewhere in a desert terrain. When we embraced, I wept. When I awoke, I was depressed for several months. Just imagine that. Imagine the profound, heartbreaking emotion of waking up in your own bed only to spend the next several months mourning a family that never even existed. Your brain generated an entire lifetime of love and then just stripped it away the second you open your eyes.
And the crazy part is, it's far from an isolated incident. Here's user GingerSnap speaks. I had a dream one time where I lived a whole other life. It seemed like I lived 40 years. When I woke up, I was so sad. I missed them so much. You can really feel the empathy there. Another user, M00 Moose, describes having highly lucid dreams where they live completely mundane lives. We're talking spending hours just chucking wood into a furnace, or acting as a highly stressed delivery driver. It is wild how incredibly specific the subconscious can be. They also described recurring dreams of attending this radiant, loving school where everyone learns at their own pace. That's actually a concept other users liken to the idea of Earth as a school for the soul. The level of detail in these accounts makes these dreams feel literally indistinguishable from reality.
Section 5. Real-life alternate timelines. Let's move to and see how this builds when we look at the clinical use of ketamine. Now, to be clear, this isn't recreational. We are talking about highly controlled therapy for complex PTSD. Patients report stepping into an alternate timeline, where the exact opposite choices were made. We actually have a terrifying but ultimately healing account from a clinical psychologist who underwent this exact treatment.
Reddit user competitive-self6482 shared this genuinely shocking account. During her session, she experienced an alternate timeline where she had actually succumbed to the drug addiction she successfully avoided in her real life. She writes, "I came to realize that my current life is the life I dreamed up when high on heroin. It gutted me to think I dreamt up my kids and my husband. I didn't know which timeline I'd be in when I opened my eyes." While that is absolutely terrifying to experience, she notes that this profound dissociation allowed her to process a decade of deep trauma in a single day, breaking down emotional blocks she had carried around for years.
Section 6. Why we seek another life. The core takeaways from all of this are just incredibly human. Whether it's through reading an isekai manga about a hero starting over, or a patient undergoing ketamine therapy to visit a timeline of bad choices, our brains desperately seek to learn, heal, and expand beyond a single lifetime. We use these alternate realities to process complex trauma from a safe distance. We use them to explore those lingering what-ifs and correct past mistakes. We find comfort in the idea that Earth is just a school, a temporary simulation for the soul. Ultimately, we crave escape from the mundane to unlock the hidden, vast facets of our own consciousness. So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. Think about the life you're living right now, the device you're watching this on, the room you're sitting in. If you closed your eyes tonight and woke up tomorrow in your quote-unquote real life, would you miss this one? Thank you for exploring with us today. And hey, keep questioning your reality.